Yeah, so a quick history. Our founder, Nicolas Bertet, was building Lightning Wallet, and was thinking about Bitcoin banking, and thinking about the idea that Bitcoin is open source, right, and Lightning, and the fiat banking system is anything but, right. It's permissioned, it's closed. It's you need to have permission to and you're sending money through centralized Fed, well, Fed now in the future, but like ACH and FedWire and everything else. And having this idea that if Bitcoin is a better settlement layer for money, and Lightning is a better payments layer, well, Bitcoin and Lightning alone do not enable an organization or an enterprise to launch a product, right? There's a lot of work yet to be done. And so the idea of Galoy is to build a banking infrastructure to be able to plug into Bitcoin and Lightning in a way that's like where you can launch enterprise scale products without having the massive dedicated team to kind of like build from ground up. And so the Galoy stack has a GraphQL API, and then we have different modules. So actually, Nicolas, I'll shill like a video if anybody wants to go into depth, and I'll give a high level right here. But Nicolas was just at the MicroStrategy conference and presented the stack there, and kind of was presenting to like C-suite execs of Fortune 500 companies, on Lightning Day in Florida, about a few key concepts that enterprises need to be thinking about, which is one is custody. In the Galoy stack, it actually uses Spectre Wallet, so free and open source software for the win. You have a Bitcoin bridge to be able to interact between your enterprise applications and Bitcoin and Lightning. You need to have a ledger, right? A core ledger to maintain your liabilities, assets between multiple customers, different users, etc. And then the other piece that he talked about is volatility management, right? And so the short-term exchange rate volatility of Bitcoin is difficult to manage in certain contexts, right? One of those contexts is in a merchant in El Salvador that makes $30 in a day, and they can't have that $30 turn into 20 the next day, right? And so we built a open source project called StableSats, and it enables people to hold a dollar value stable inside of the Lightning wallet. So in the Blink wallet, users can receive to their Bitcoin account or to their StableSats account, and the money in that StableSats account will not go up with the price or exchange rate of Bitcoin, nor it will go down with the exchange rate of Bitcoin. And so hugely valuable for a certain type of audience, which we can get into around the community sort of adoption and bottom-up adoption context. But also the StableSats is a project that is one use case, right? There's also sort of enterprise level contexts for volatility management that it can be used. And actually, when the Silicon Valley Bank, it was funny. I was on the Kevin Roof's podcast like 2 days before Silicon Valley Bank like imploded, and he was like, "What about enterprise use cases for StableSats?" And I was like, "It's a good idea. Like we've been thinking more in like the bottom up and adoption. I haven't thought about it." And like 2 days later, I'm in a Twitter space, and the guy was like, "Yeah, we were doing this like inverse perpetual swap using derivatives to like to hold dollars in and out of Bitcoin." And I was like, "Oh, well, there you go, there's some of your enterprise applications." So those are some of the core pieces, and when you put it all together, you have a really robust scalable infrastructure that is open source, that you can build and launch applications, Bitcoin applications on top of. And one of those is the Blink wallet, which is a preferred Lightning wallet for communities around the world to onboard and build circular economies with, which is really cool because it gives us a lot of insight on a day-to-day basis. I mean, the wallet's been live for 3+ years. And so yeah, it's built on the Galoy stack. And there's another one, so Bitcoin Jungle. I'm not sure if you've heard or you're familiar with, but there's a community in Costa Rica. They forked the wallet and launched it on the Galoy stack as well. And so really, really bullish about the potential for building open source banking layer on top of Bitcoin and Lightning. Really, it's like Linux, or thinking about open wins out, right? And so that's really what we're building towards and building for.